Hello and welcome to the penultimate weekend of the BRSCC Mazda MX-5 Championship. This weekend we're in Rockingham Motor Speedway, which is a very sad occasion for us because it'll be the last time our little Mazdas grace the tarmac. Now, jumping straight into the championship, it's heating up a bit with Sam Smith clawing back a huge gap at the last round at Anglesey. Sam now is only 4 points behind the current contender, Will Blackwell-Chambers, but first blood does go to Will, putting it on pole for race 1. So let's jump straight into the action and see how Sam gets on.
A brilliant showdown to the championship over the next 2 weekends. It's going to be a great one. Will Blackwell-Chambers versus Sam Smith on the front row. John Langridge and Mike Comber on row 2. Paul Bateman and Oliver Allwood, Jack Brewer and Matthew Pollard come next up. Rounding out the top 10, it's Jason Greatrex and Martin Tolley. And then we've got Steve Foden and Clive Poles on row 6. From Brian Trott and Scott Leach, Adam Craig and Martin Canning. Followed up by John Pethick and Marcus Bailey, Kevin Brent and Callum Greatrex. And then Will Hayden and Paul Tucker round out the 22-car grid. This is going to be a brilliant end to the season, especially when those two fighting for the championship at the sharp end are so close at this stage of the championship. We're waiting for the lights to come on. When they do, we'll go racing here in the Mazda MX-5 Championship at Rockingham for the last time ever. Here we go. And it's a brilliant start from Sam Smith already. He's got a good jump on Will Blackwell-Chambers. Can he beat him to the first corner? So far, not quite. He's going to have to tuck in behind. It is Mike Comber who's slotted into third place. We're on board with Will Blackwell-Chambers as they fly through turn 1 up towards Dean Hairpin. On the power, that looks like John Langridge trying to make a move up the inside. Can he get the onside move? He's going to get heavy into the brakes, and behind him it looks like there's a very bold move too. John Langridge trying to make the deadlock into the hairpin. Has he been able to find the space to squeeze through? Oh, it's getting a little bit heated in the background, and we've got a couple of cars going wide. That looks to me like we've got a couple having a bit of an issue under brakes. That's Greatrex getting boxed in the middle of the field. He's just about got away without an issue there. And it looked to me as though it was the 93 who fell to the back of the field there. Jack Brewer just running a little bit wide on the exit of Dean Hairpin. We're on board with Callum Greatrex as they tuck through out of Chapman Curve, through Piff Paff and up towards the left-hander. Tightening their way through and now back onto the steel straight. This is going to be a really interesting run from here on in. They've come off Corby, down the steel straight and up towards Gracelands, one of the toughest corners in British motorsport, and that looks like a bold move from Oliver Allwood as he's trying to get his way up the inside of the other Greatrex brother. That's Jason. We're on board with John Langridge as a move for the lead. That's Sam Smith going to dive up the inside of Will Blackwell-Chambers. Langridge is going to go with him. Has he got space to finish the move? They come off of Tarzan and back down the school straight. Blackwell-Chambers hanging on to second position for the moment. Really good start to this race as they come into the Brook chicane for the first time. Langridge is going to try again. He commits to the move on Blackwell-Chambers, dives through, makes the pass. That's beautifully done from Langridge. He's pulled off so many moves like that in 2018, and I have a feeling he's got a few more in him. Whoops, something's a bit loose. That's Langridge's car looking back. I have a feeling that's just some form of cable tie or something that's connected to the roll hoop. No major problems there as they come in through turn 1. We're going to miss this circuit so much when it sadly leaves us at the end of 2018. That doesn't mean we can't have 3 fantastic battles to sign it off in style, Mazda style. And up to the inside, Langridge is going to try and make a move into Dean Hairpin. He locks up a little bit, Will Blackwell-Chambers behind him. But John Langridge is through and into the lead. Blackwell-Chambers coming through now in a second position. If there's going to be an opportunity for Sam Smith to get him back into Yetwood, there is. He cuts across him in the braking zone. Nicely done there to hold back and keep that second position. But Blackwell-Chambers isn't done yet. And here comes Mike Comber for company as they go through Chapman Curve and up towards Piff Paff. In through the chicane they will go, and then on the run towards Corby. Left, right, up and over the crest, and then into the braking zone for Corby. A very tricky left-hander this. You've got to be very careful how you stab on the brakes. Smith just getting the car nicely lined up on the exit, and they drop down the straight up towards Gracelands once again. We're on the steel straight, but it looks to me as though we could get a move here. Sam Smith is already all over the back of John Langridge as they go through the left-hander at Gracelands up towards Tarzan Hairpin. And this could be a very interesting move if Sam Smith's going to make the overtaking move. He's not going to go there yet. Too early on into the race to go ugly. So into the hairpin, and Langridge has the move. Blackwell-Chambers, third position now, tucked up behind Sam Smith. That's still Comber in fourth position. Fifth place, that looks to me like the 42 of Paul Bateman, who of course is leading the Masters category as well. They come into Brook chicane. A little puff of smoke there from the brakes of the 5 of John Langridge. He's clearly under massive pressure from Sam Smith, who again is going to give him a massive run down the main straight as they go very close into the barriers. You get closer to the wall here than you do anywhere else in British motorsport other than maybe Snetterton. They come through that first flying corner. Oh, we're going to miss the banking so much. Up through that first turn, and now on the run towards Dean Hairpin. Sam Smith starting to set up a move for Langridge, but he better get on with it quickly, otherwise Will Blackwell Chambers is going to get his chance. Langridge has run wide. Is this going to be a move for Smith? Well saved by John Langridge. Anybody runs wide at Dean Hairpin these days, and they're usually in the drink. So a very nice bit of work there to hang on in front of Smith and Blackwell Chambers. Comber there in fourth. Then it is Bateman in front of, that is Stephen Foden, who's made a terrific start up to 6th from 11th on the grid. He's got Jason Greatrex all over the back of him. He's made a good start as well. Up into, what is that going to be? That's 7th position he's in now from 9th on the grid. So good starts from Foden and Greatrex in this one as they go through Piff Paff. He is so close to that barrier on the far side as Greatrex is attacking and defending simultaneously. He's trying to hug the inside apex while also having a lunge, and there's a big puff of smoke in the background as a couple of drivers are locking up. Sam Smith's going to town on John Langridge. They go through Gracelands, the left-hander. Watch for the overtaking move. Is it going to come? Well, Smith's got to set up Langridge. Langridge defends beautifully, moves to cover, and that's enough for Will Blackwell Chambers. He gets the invitation, moves up the inside line. That'll do. Second place is mine. Thank you very much indeed. And Comber very nearly takes on his teammate. Smith is actually going to nerf Blackwell Chambers. Just give him a little love tap down the school straight so that they can get away once more from Mike Comber. So Blackwell Chambers is trying to make the move. Don't forget that these three are all running in the same team. But even though they are teammates and they run in different colour schemes, they are still hard, no-nonsense rivals. But they treat it just like any other race, and these guys love racing together. They have an amazing camaraderie and amazing rapport, and you need it when you race this closely. Can they take on John Langridge and get him through turn 1? They sweep through the left-hander once again. Blackwell Chambers looks well placed to come right round the outside of the banking. That gradient is going to be a tough one to get right. He set it up nicely, and here comes Sam Smith for the inside line as well. I thought we were going to go 3 wide there. Langridge is going to hold the inside line. That's going to be enough for Sam Smith to get the inside line through Dean, and he gets the run off the exit. Nicely done. Will Blackwell Chambers has to stop back into 3rd position. They jostle. There's a little bit of a nudge, and they very nearly end up getting spat out the outside of the move. So there could have been a moment there for Sam Smith. Now he's got a great exit off of Yentwood. He's going to get the run up towards Chapman Curve. He's there on the inside. Langridge is desperately trying to hold the inside line. They bang wheels. And now Blackwell Chambers is going to get the run on the inside as Sam Smith loses momentum. Smith's still there to the inside for the second apex of Pip Paff. But Blackwell Chambers is there on the inside for the left-hander. And Comber is going to get the move on the inside line as well. Not if Sam Smith's got anything to say about it, though. He chops right across and stops the move from even beginning. So Langridge leading, Blackwell Chambers second, Sam Smith in third. Blackwell Chambers versus Sam Smith for the title is going to go right down to the wire, no doubt. At the very end of the season, we're going to see these two battle away for supremacy. Back into the braking zone again for Tarzan, Langridge, Blackwell Chambers, Smith, Comber, and now the 42, Paul Bateman getting closer to them, with the likes of Foden and Greatrex still very close in together behind. Although that looks to me as though Allwood has now broken onto the back of Greatrex yet again. So Greatrex has got past Foden, and so too has Ollie Allwood, who started originally in 6th on the grid, don't forget. So he's having a tricky race to get himself back into position. They come back onto the main straight again. Back on the power. And over the line once more. This is a really, really good race that we've got going on already. I can see that this is just going to build and build and build at the front end of the field. Everybody's still fairly close together as they come over the start-finish line. There's a few different groups. That's one of the other things I love about MX-5 Championship racing. Blackwell Chambers has gone for broke. He's going to get onto the inside line. Langridge is trying to squeeze him in the braking zone, but he has to leave him enough room, and he's got through. Nicely done from Blackwell Chambers. Langridge, ever the sportsman there, but was never going to give him more room than he had to. That was the perfect defence from Langridge without going over the limit there. Beautifully handled. And he's only lost 1 position. Now he's going to have to try and keep Sam Smith at arm's length. But the longer he keeps Smith at bay, the better this is for Blackwell Chambers, because he ends up getting a little bit of a gap over his main rival in the championship. Langridge isn't interested in that at all. He's still mathematically got a chance at the championship, but it's a realistic one. Realistically, it's him basically trying to go for victories for the end of the season and see where he ends up from his point of view. He's going to make a big lunge at Gracelands. I thought he would make the move. Look how much you have to work on the wheel. The second the car gets a little bit loose, it snaps back. But he manages to go for the outside line, because that's where Blackwell Chambers is putting him, in the braking zone. A little puff of smoke from the tyre there as it locks up. He gets back on the power, Blackwell Chambers. Langridge is still with him. And so too Sam Smith as they go down the school straight. Still plenty of time for this race to come alive again as Langridge is going to make the dive for the inside of the Brook chicane. That'll do nicely. Into the lead. Beautifully done there from John Langridge. So he retakes the lead. Second place Blackwell Chambers. Then the two red and white MCR machines. Comber is fourth behind Sam Smith, but they are very close in behind now, all four of them, as they challenge away for victory. They go over the start-finish line once again. That is Bateman in the background in fifth position. Then it is the all-red machine of Jason Greatrex. Here we go again, using the aerodynamic slipstream. This is going to be great stuff towards Dean Hairpin. Blackwell Chambers has got Sam Smith for company, and they're going to sweep up the inside of Langridge in tandem. They both go together. There's not a lot Langridge can do to let them, other than let them go. He has to concede. Brilliant racing between the two of them, and now Comber might get a chance on the exit of Langridge as well, although John Langridge trying to assert himself back up the inside of Yentwood as Greatrex makes the move on Bateman as well, and unfortunately has to back out of the overtake. That's going to give an invitation for Allwood, and there, unfortunately for Langridge, he is down in fourth position now. Comber managed to sweep through into P3 as well. What it means for us, though, is that we have got a mano-a-mano dogfight between the two title contenders, Will Blackwell Chambers and Sam Smith at the front end of the field. This is what we were hoping for from the last 6 races of the year, the 3 this weekend, and then the 3 next time out in October. So down at the braking zone once again. John Langridge trying to come back at Mike Comber. The thing is, he can't afford to let the leaders out front get too far away. Otherwise, any chance of a victory is long gone. Blackwell Chambers has a good advantage in this part of the race already. They break down into the hairpin for Tarzan. Trying to get a little more speed off the turn. This is going full guns blazing for Blackwell Chambers. Still got Sam Smith for company. Mike Comber in third. Fourth place. We've got John Langridge and Allwood having to go very defensive to keep back Bateman, because both he and the man ahead of him, Jason Greatrex, have got past Bateman of late. So Greatrex is now 5th, Allwood is now 6th. And then we've got 7th place for Paul Bateman in the 42, who still leads the Masters class. His closest oppositions are likely to be Brian Trott and Martin Tolley. You can see them going through there in the Team Trott colours. You just saw Brian Trott underneath the finish line. But the great thing about this championship is even if you have to end up falling off the lead group, you've always got drivers to race against. This is the battle further back. We've got Martin Tolley chasing down the 25 as they come through. Not the 25, my apologies. That is Martin Tolley trying to make his way through on the inside of the 29, my apologies, locking up. Very close battling between him and Adam Craig. Craig hangs on to the place, but watch out because we've got a bit of a battle behind these guys as Clive Poles is having a nice little tussle as well, trying to get his way up the inside of the, I think that, well, that's not Brian Trott's car because he's further up the road. I think that's the 93 of Jack Brewer potentially. It's a different colour scheme to the one I'm used to. No, my apologies, it's the 55. That's why. That's Matt Pollard. So Pollard trying to get his way onto the back of the 23. As Tolley tries to get up the inside again of Adam Craig, another driver who's made up some good places in this race. He's got past all 3 of the drivers in behind him. So that is Matt Pollard trying to get back on terms with Martin Tolley, and Clive Poles is going to come with him. Martin Tolley, you are braver than me, sunshine. Through Gracelands up the inside line. You've got to be taking some brave pills there. Looks like we've had a big lock-up into Tarzan. A big lock-up of the brakes. Lots of steam left behind to tell the tale. But I don't see anybody in the gravel at Tarzan, so I think they just about got the car stopped by the look of it. Matt Pollard still trying to attack Martin Tolley, but Tolley's got his own ideas on Adam Craig. Will he get the move into the Brook chicane? Well, Craig has got the car well planted. So Adam Craig still hanging on in the 29 in front of Tolley. And then in behind him, we still have some really good hustle from Pollard and from Clive Poles, of course. So they're still in together. No change at the front. That's why we're focusing on this battle in the midfield. It doesn't matter if you drop off the tail. You'll always have people to race with in the Mazda MX-5 Championship. And it's a great series. Pound for pound, you probably get more value for money in this one-make championship than you do most others. Here's another opportunity. Adam Craig has now lost out to Tolley. Tolley has swept round the outside of him to make the place. That was very good hustle there from Tolley. And now Pollard is going to have a crack at Adam Craig. He's going to have to work very hard because you can't catch Adam Craig half asleep. Tolley may have got him round the outside through the banking where the speed really does pay dividends, and a good exit speed out of the final corner is everything, but he's definitely not backed out of the hunt. He's going straight after Tolley again, trying to come round the outside on the approach to Chapman Curve. As they head up towards Piff Paff once again, they're going to go through the left, through the right, and still Adam Craig all over the back of Martin Tolley. But there's a chance here for Matt Pollard if he just hangs on to this. He's not going to be, circumspect about it. He's going to go right round the outside of Adam. Right on the outside of Corby. You're taking too long getting past this man, bucko. I'm going to do it the hard way if you're not going to make the move. And Craig has to retaliate in the braking zone for Gracelands. Don't you be cheeky. That's not a conventional overtaking move, mate. But he's going to have another go. Here comes Pollard again. And now there's 5 of them in the mix because we've got another one who's joined the party in behind Clive Poles. That is a very strong move there from Martin Canning as he tries to get himself in the mix. Side by side, door to door, rubbing wheel arches. That's Pollard and Poles, and that's enough for Canning to get a move up the inside. And watch out behind you guys, because you're going to get some pressure if you're not careful. And that is from Scott Leach with the teeth on the front grille of the car. Very nice livery on that particular machine. See that in the rear view mirror and tremble at your peril as they come onto the main straight once again in this battle in the midfield. Martin Tolley has got himself a little bit of distance between himself and Adam Craig. A little further up the road, this is Foden trying to get past Allwood, who in turn is trying to get past Brian Trott. Now Trott has not had the greatest qualifying, but he's a racer, so he's able to get himself back up the order, and he's battling away with these two. And who's that that's gone with them? That is Bateman. So Paul Bateman trying to get himself up the order again. Now this means that Brian Trott is leading the Masters race. So he has got himself past the likes of Allwood, past the likes of Steve Foden, who made that terrific start initially. And then of course in front of Paul Bateman, who was the leader in the Masters category for a while. They come up and over Piff Paff and into the braking zone for Corby. Now you can just about make out Jason Greatrex in front of them. Now Greatrex is hoping they don't join the fray, but at the same time he's trying to catch after the leading 4. I just noticed in the distance there that Langridge has got back past Comber to move up into 3rd place once more, and Jason Greatrex is trying to catch them. So this tail is for 6th position at the moment, and there's 4 of them in it. It is still Trott in front of Allwood, Foden, and then Paul Bateman. They break up for the hairpin. Ollie Allwood, careful. Just trying to roll off the brake there and not cause any issues, but Allwood is definitely getting hungry. On the back, I think Trott's got a problem. Allwood's gone straight into the back of him. Now that was not intentional. Foden's going to split them as a result of the momentum lost. Allwood's going to get up the inside. Trott's going to try and come back. I wondered did Brian Trott miss a gear, and that was enough to give Allwood a little tap on the back of him. They both had to get off the throttle, and that was enough for Foden to try and split them up the middle. So big mistake for Trott. He doesn't seem to have a broken car. I think that was just a missed gear. It happens occasionally. And so now he's got massive pressure from Paul Bateman. As behind them, we've got this tussle still. Martin Tolley being caught by Adam Craig once again. And Martin Canning, by the way, has got to the front of this queue with Leach at the back of it, having closed up on Pollard and, of course, Poles. So Pollard and Poles still having a good little tussle. Both of these guys have been at the sharp end of both the A and B groups through the year. So they know exactly how to win races. They know how to fight for the supremacy. And up the inside, Poles is going to get a very big lock-up. I saw that one coming a mile off. Dear oh dear. He just about rolls off the brake in time to blend the car back out on the outside line. But Leach is going to get back onto the inside. Further back, we're still seeing a really nice tussle between Jack Brewer and Callum Greatrex in the distance. You might just be able to pick them out. But Poles is hanging on in front of Scott Leach for the moment. So Leach is licking his lips, as you can see on the front of that grille, grinding his teeth as he chases after the man in front of him, Clive Poles, trying to step up the attack once again into Corby, through the left-hander. Several lines to get through there in good nick, but both drivers having a bit of a lunge at the moment. Now, Martin Tolley has got a bit of a pressure cooker building here because Adam Craig is definitely all over the back of him. And this guy, Clive Poles, can see the two in front of him tightening up. That is that Martin Canning now on the side of Adam Craig. He is trying to come right round the outside at Tarzan. Craig is trying the ultra-defensive move. He's got Tolley in his way, and Canning's just going to blend the throttle and power out round the outside of Tarzan. What a move from Martin Canning as we go into the last lap, and these two out front have not moved for a long, long time. All the action seems to have been in the midfield in this one, but Sam Smith has got one final crack at Will Blackwell Chambers. Is he going to get another opportunity? Blackwell Chambers moves across just to cover the inside line. He knows that Sam Smith might go for the move. Holds on through the inside as they come off the hairpin. Sam Smith is trying to take as many points out of Will Blackwell Chambers as possible as we get closer and closer to this championship decider. You shouldn't expect any funny business between these two. They are great friends, great rivals, and they will fight cleanly and fairly to the death. They are going to go all the way through to the end of the season. Will Blackwell Chambers hanging on from Sam Smith. You'll see great racing, you'll see brilliant moves, you'll see audacious battling and bravery. You certainly won't see any fisticuffs between these two. They are hard, no-nonsense, fair racers, and they will push it to the ragged edge. Sam Smith, there is the ragged edge. You just saw it, the puff of dust as they came off the turn. So now they're going to flick through the left-hander at Gracelands once again. This is the last chance for Sam Smith, really. A braking opportunity into Tarzan is not going to happen. He's too far back, but if he gets it right, he might set it up for a last run at the Brook chicane. This is all about how Blackwell Chambers places the car. And the answer is perfectly. No issue there at all. So I don't think Sam Smith is going to get close enough into the braking zone for the last chicane to have a crack at Blackwell Chambers. He might try it if this was race 3 when there was all or nothing, but in it's race 1, there's a long weekend to go. He's not going to try anything silly. Points are points. And in the championship fight, it could make all the difference. He'll try and get one final run off the hairpin, but it's going to be Blackwell Chambers who takes the first victory of the weekend. A really strong race, a brilliant effort, and Blackwell Chambers will take the checkered flag this time. There it is. It is a second place for Sam Smith, third for John Langridge, fourth place, a brilliant fight back in the end for Jason Greytrex, who comes home in front of Mike Comber, and then it is Ollie Allwood who beats Adam Craig, and that's Ollie Allwood, Steve Foden across the line in front of Bateman and Trott. A brilliant end to the race then, but this man at the top step, Blackwell Chambers, continues to control the advantage from Smith and Langridge, Jason Greytrex, Mike Comber and Oliver Allwood in the top 6, from Bateman, Trott, Foden and Martin Canning with that brilliant move earlier on. He beats Tolley and Craig to the line from Poles, Brewer, Greytrex, Leach, Pollard, Bailey, Brent and Pethick. A brilliant first race, the fastest lap and a new lap record for John Langridge, and not a single driver who started the race failed to finish. Brilliant first race. Let's catch up with the podium runners and Lyndsay in the pits.
Will, you've come straight back from Anglesey and put it back on pole here at Rockingham.
It's nice to be back on top. We had some issues at Anglesey. We know what they are. We've managed to fix them, and it's nice to be back where we think we should be.
Fantastic. So looking ahead to race 2, is the championship points still in the back of your head there rolling around?
Yeah, Sam caught a lot of points at Anglesey, so trying to keep him behind this weekend is one of the big priorities. But no, bringing the car home safe is the most important, and we'll see what the championship's like at the end of the weekend.
Brilliant. Right, well, we'll see you tomorrow for race 2.
Cheers.
Sam, I have been dying to get you in front of this camera and ask, 4 points, you're behind Will. What is going on?
I know, it's close. I had a really bad round at Snetterton, closed the gap over the season after Alton onwards, and had 3 wins at Anglesey. I'm trying not to focus on it too hard, but I really wanted to beat him then, but I was hanging on to him really, so I've got a bit of work to do for tomorrow. But if I can stay within 4 points with him this weekend, I can beat him at Donington, so that's all that matters.
Now, I know your teammates, but is there a lot of secrecy going around in the paddock at the minute?
No, not at all. We're here to race, treat it as every race like we have done all season, and may the best man win, so we're all good mates at the end of the day.
Well, we'll look forward to race 2.
Yeah, when we won't be mates anymore.
John, coming in this championship, you were 5th in the leaderboards, but now getting 3rd and the lap record, pretty good chances?
Well, for the title, it's probably a bit of a ask. I'd need some serious tailwind to challenge Sam and Will, but no, really happy with the race to get another podium. Yeah, brilliant stuff.